Six friends get together and start horror-themed tours, and business is so booming that they decide we're going to expand beyond the U.S., we're going to go international, and we're going to start in the country of Poland. But after they anger the natives with a local legend that may or may not be true, they find out they're in a fight for their lives in terror trips, written and directed by Jeff Seaman. Ha 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 ha. Seaman. Oh, so much semen all over this movie. Seaman, by the way, spelled Seemann, but nevertheless, Seaman, ha ha ha, will always continue to be funny. This is Jeff's feature debut, and it stars Hannah Fierman. If that name doesn't sound familiar, you might remember me from such films that no, but in all seriousness, the first VHS tape, Amateur Night, I Like You. That woman. That very, very creepy woman that has just the perfect look for horror and actually is a pretty decent actress. I've seen her in other movies, and she isn't a brunette in this one. She's blonde, but just still has that wide-eyed craziness about her. Seriously, I think she should get some meatier roles. And she's actually the biggest name actor in this. And that's not a knock on her. That's just a knock on the fact that basically pretty much the rest of the movie is populated with people that were certainly trying. It seemed like they had fun making it, and it seemed like it was just a bunch of friends making a movie. There were actors such as Damien Moffel, who plays Lucas, George, Abigail Esmena, who is beautiful, I might add, very, very beautiful. There's Channy Moreau, who plays Eli, and there's Alexandra, that's actually how it's spelled, played by Kate Kiddo. She looks great. And there's also a few others, Elsie Holt, Anita S. Martin, Ronnie Locke, who has purple hair, and give her more roles. She has a captivating look. She played the kind of spunky, full of spunk woman that was tough and wouldn't take no shit from anybody. So basically the plot of this movie, such as it is, there's this idea to start horror-themed tours, taken to various locations, go to Camp Crystal Lake, go to Hell House, go to so many places, and give guided tours and earn money. And we know this because we hear people talk about it. We actually don't ever see any single paying customer on this. Maybe it's just a business that somehow becomes booming off camera. Now, I will say that one thing about this movie that needs to be addressed immediately is this was filmed in the Midwest during the pandemic, and actually there were a lot more outside scenes to allow for social distancing, and COVID tests were given out, and apparently they all came back negative. So you know what? They stayed isolated, they had fun, they did what they did. They made the movie and they didn't get sick. And you know what? That can be commended. So this movie, such as it is, movie, I guess should be in the largest quotations possible, involved 6 idiots that come together. And I mean idiots as far as characters. They go to all these locations. We know that because we see montages in the credits, and then they decide, hey, our business is so successful. It's kind of like the Birdemic method where, oh, wow, our business is so successful, we'll give you a 50% discount. Solar panels. But maybe the writing isn't quite that bad. It's close. And they decide, we're going to go international. We're going to go to the Hostel set. We're going to go to Poland. And hey, have you heard this movie called Black Volga? What is Black Volga? At least I assume I'm pronouncing that right. If not, I do apologize. And basically, it is about a certain black car that was going around Poland and kidnapping children. And then weird experiments were done on them or whatever. This is just a legend. We don't actually know if it's true. Maybe it might be true. Who knows? And then they get to Poland. They were corresponding, or by corresponding, I mean George, played by Abigail Esmena, who is short for Georgia, by the way. George, by the way, not Abigail being short for Georgia. That would be very weird. She's talking to Alex, who actually was Alexandra, Kate Kiddo. And, hey, you can do all this stuff. Yeah, sure. You want to do this camping. You want to do all this stuff. You want to have fun, just have a vacation. That's okay. Well, Jenny, played by Hannah Fierman, lets it slip that, oh yeah, we're doing this filming of this particular thing. Well, you probably shouldn't tell any of the natives that, because even though it's just an urban legend, it clearly didn't happen. Wink, wink, nod, 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 nudge, nudge. You don't say that to anybody or they'll get pissed. Well, then guess what happens? It turns out that there's actual weird shit going on. Everybody's in a fight for their lives. This movie is bargain basement bullshit and is one of the worst horror movies I have seen in the last 15 years. I don't know if it was meant to be a comedy, at least at first, but they tried to make it all seriousness and, oh, all these characters are getting tortured and beaten up and sliced and diced and tortured on these tables and everything's going bad and there's all these bad Polish people in this one garage location that has a little lab and all this. And I'm not spoiling much because missing out on this will not haunt you even for 5 fucking seconds. But this movie just ends up being so bargain basement. Like everybody that is supposed to be a bad guy just ends up doing, they end up just looking menacing and being Polish because apparently you need to look Polish, like that horror Party Beach line or sign that MST3K pointed out. If you remember that, I love you guys. Basically, people start being offed, and it turns out that maybe you shouldn't anger the natives. Maybe you should have just gone to Warsaw and just, continue to travel, and then you could have angered people on the hostel set. That would have worked. It's just a bunch of idiots that end up interacting with other idiots, and that's pretty much it. There isn't anybody worth rooting for. That's the thing. Even though the actors are trying, and even though it seems like they were having fun making it, there is no redeeming quality about this beyond the beautiful women. There are a few beautiful women here. There's also the much larger Anna that is basically the boss of this whole operation thing that is going on, based on the Black Volga and all this weird stuff, and all these things get referenced to. We see a little bit of it, but obviously because it's a low budget movie and it was filmed during the pandemic, there wasn't going to be much. But the scope of this movie, despite the fact they are trying to reach a little bit, they basically have the scope of, I don't know, a goddamn thimble. Like, that's about how deep the whole movie is. And nobody really cares when anybody dies. At least I goddamn didn't. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I'd say. If you have Amazon Prime, it is available on Prime for free. So all you have to waste is your time, not your money. And sure, there are other worse movies, but this is one of the worst horror movies of the year by far, because it's just terrible and there's nobody worth rooting for, and why the hell would I even watch this? Oh wait, because I'll watch anything. So anyway, we get into spoilers. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay, so it turns out that as people get offed, one guy gets kidnapped because they start experimenting on him. They promise 6 bodies because they have an organ harvesting operation. Alexandra is in on this whole damn thing. This police officer, Ludwig, that kind of basically looks like if Brad Maddox was a little bit buffer. If you know who Brad Maddox is, you are going to goddamn laugh your ass off at him being intimidating. And yeah, basically what ends up happening is people get captured. Jenny, Hannah Fierman's character, somehow escapes. And at one point, George escapes. And Eli escapes. But then Eli gets killed. And George gets captured. And all this stuff just ends up happening, like, very, very quickly. And as other people are getting killed, Ronnie Locke's character got her Achilles tendon sliced, and she can't really run away. And also, the Black Volga car suddenly shows up near the end after Jenny calls the police, finds the police, and the police are all in on it. Everybody's in on this thing. And puts her in the back of the car, and then a guy's driving, and Ronnie Locke's character basically says, just kill me. I can't get away. They're going to kill us, so kill me. And then I assume that Jenny killed herself. I don't really know. I don't really care, because nothing about this matters. And then we get a mid-credit scene with Anna leaving money for Alexandra, and that's Alexandra is her daughter. Duh, big shock. Then we get a news report. Everybody's still missing. And then we go to the end credits, and George has joined them, possibly through experimentation, possibly out of boredom. Who really goddamn cares? This movie is shit. Goddamn shit. It gets an F. The whole terror trips thing, yeah, this is certainly a trip through terror, the terror of how it actually got made. I mean, I've seen worse, but still, as far as bargain basement, this is dog shit. Really, really bad. Really bad. Anyway, agree, disagree what I said. It gets an F, by the way, in case you didn't figure that out. Gets an F. Agree, disagree what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.